Welcome to Detecting Intelligence, the only show that treats AI like a crime scene. We bag the evidence, dust the hype for fingerprints, and interrogate the breakthroughs. Then we ask the only question that matters. Are we closer to AGI? Let's find out. Here are your hosts, Frank and Ronnie.
GM,
Mr. Frank Zuring.
Mr. Ronnie number 2, I guess we're going to call you today.
He actually spells his name. He's actually from the Dominican Republic too, which I'm half Dominican. My other half is Puerto Rican. But I'm born and raised in the USA. But he spells it Rony.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 2 N's. Anyway.
I guess New York Ronnie is taking it to the next level.
Yeah. And I've met another Ronnie. I mean, I've met a bunch of, but as far as spelling goes, yeah, I've met a Ronnie that spells it Rani.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think there's many on my lobster claws on my head, Frank. Sorry, what did you think before you comment on that?
I was just gonna say I don't think there's too many different ways to spell Frank. So
I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, I thought, did it really quick. I thought, no, there isn't. So I'm not even gonna say it. That's the quantum chip in my brain that worked really fast to figure that out. Which we are going to talk to. There is, I haven't even mentioned it to you yet, but Google, or maybe you saw it, but Google came out with a new quantum chip that's pretty interesting. But anyways, welcome to Detecting Intelligent, folks. I am your co-host, Ronnie, aka Dr. Moonhattan, and I'm joined by my co-host, Frank Zuring, aka Frank Zuring, on his socials. But yeah, GM Frank, how are you today, bud? How's the I don't want to, always start by asking you what the weather is in Canada, but I am kind of curious. What's the weather in Canada right now?
We're a nice sunny warm day today, actually, and the snow is melting, so I'm getting excited here.
It's a freaking opposite over here, dude. Although it's not cold, it's only 40, my 40. I don't know what that is for your 40. We'll figure it out eventually. You and I have been like friends for a couple of years now, and I still don't know what your system you're working under. But yeah, no, it's the opposite, dude. It's gloomy, it's raining, but I don't mind it too much. It's all right. Yesterday was really nice. Yesterday was really nice here in New York City. But anyways, the people watching don't give a crap about the weather. But yeah, no. So this is Detecting Intelligence. This is a daily live show that Frank and I are doing every day at 9 a.m. Eastern. And yeah, and Frank and I are just getting together just to talk about what's happened in the last 24 hours in the AI, AGI, ASI, tech-based, Web3, crypto, blockchain, finance, global, whatever, cosmical. Whatever's happening in the last 24 hours that we find interesting, we just kind of want to bring it to you guys, distill it, synthesize it, and then maybe you can utilize that information in your daily life in some way, shape, or form. Did I miss anything, Frank?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, my friend.
Excellent. That's the coffee talking.
Well, why don't we kick off? I'm sure everyone that's here watching is wondering what's the deal with these claws you've got on.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so I am fresh off ClawCon NYC that happened yesterday evening. And it was a madhouse. It was an absolute madhouse. I totally understand the host telling people get there early, and I made sure to get there early because I didn't want to miss this after hearing how the one in San Francisco went down. But it was great. Yeah, we'll share some photos and videos that I took on our Detecting Intelligence socials, and you guys can take a look. But I'm sure there's plenty of content online. But it was just a bunch of nerds getting together, claw heads getting together, enthusiasts, and just talking everything OpenClaw and just talking about what they're building. Stuff that they're curious about, how they're implementing it in their personal life, their business life. And it was great, man. I don't know, man. I feel like there was like maybe 700-800 people or so ish. I know I left, it was going from 6 to 9. I left like around 8 p.m. because it was just too much and I couldn't hear the demos anymore. There was still a line of people outside trying to get in. Wow. So needless to say, that event was I would say wildly popular for the demos, maybe not for the demoers, maybe not so much because you could barely hear them because there was just a loud roar of tech that you were competing with. But it was great, dude. And then we talked about it a little bit before we went live here, and you want to do one in Canada. You should definitely do that.
I mean, it sounds like it's the time, right?
You get lobster hands for your head, dude.
and actually, you get real lobster. I heard too. You said that they were serving.
There is real lobster roll. Yeah, check out our socials to get that. I didn't try any, so I couldn't tell you if it was good or not. I asked someone else that did try it, and they said it was okay. But yeah, you got to be careful with seafood.
That you do, especially if it's been sitting out for a while.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with seafood. All right, Frank. I don't know why I started with a J sound when I was about to say your name. Do we need to cover anything before we go hop into the first story here?
No, I think just to kind of wrap up on the OpenClaw side, super excited about it. Just dealing with OpenClaw myself on a regular basis here for business. It's got its ups and its downs, but it's still a technology I'm super excited about. And looking forward.
You've been down for a bit in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, these are kind of some of the
pains,
right? Some of the pains you go through. But I think there was an interesting article that came out on X that maybe I can look for while we're talking here and share as well. But it kind of talks about this roller coaster that you go through when you first start with OpenClaw, and it's like you're super excited by the possibilities with these first interactions that you have, and then you kind of go through these dips of like some pain. But to stick it out, it's worth it. It's certainly something that's going to be quite a game changer.
It is very much the meta right now, and it looks like it will be for the sorry folks, for the foreseeable future.
I agree. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So so hang with us, folks, because we're going to be all about the OpenClaw stuff. All right, well let's go into the first one here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no surprise here. Regulator contacts Meta over workers watching intimate AI glasses videos. Is anybody shocked by this?
I mean, if you use Facebook, if you use Facebook, I'm sure you definitely are familiar with using these platforms and how they watch every move that you're making.
Yeah, if you're shocked by this, let us know in the comments so we can ridicule you. But yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be shocked by this, first of all, and especially if you're aware of the story, or I guess allegedly, I don't know, I haven't verified this myself, but it was within the last couple of years there have been reports that the people that have to moderate, not necessarily just at Meta, but I think this story was specifically for content moderators that work at Meta, have to go to therapy. Because they're trying to, capture capture the content that people shouldn't be seeing. And I think they even have like crying pods or screaming pods. So these people have to view all kinds of content, the violent stuff, the naughty stuff. And now they're getting access to our personal stuff, but you have to know this going in, especially when you buy this thing or sign the T&C. It's going to get viewed, and so because you shouldn't be shocked doesn't mean that this is okay.
Yeah, it's I think there's a running joke in our house where we're always surprised when a Meta platform presents an ad or content to us that we literally just spoke about hours at times before we see it on social, and it's just like, okay, but you got to just assume everything is being listened to and captured from this company.
Well, dude, didn't you send me, and maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow, but didn't you send me that anti-listening surveillance device? A link to that thing? Wasn't that you that sent me that?
No, I don't think that was me, but I'm interested. What was that?
It's somebody had come up with some sort of device that you put in your room, and it's supposed to block the other devices in your space from capturing what you're saying.
Kind of like a white noise device, I think.
Something like that, or it's doing reverse sound waves, or something to that effect. But anyways, I didn't look. I just briefly looked at it real quick. I thought you sent me that. But with that said, seems like there are people working on that sort of technology, because it is weird, and yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Privacy is a myth, and unfortunately I came to terms with that a very long time ago. But what's the takeaway here, Frank? What can we learn from this? It's just that this is just this is just, it is what it is a nature of the beast. If we want this technology to get better and then in turn to make our lives better, this is just something that we have to deal with. And if anything, I mean, this is something that we've already been dealing with. This is just a new vehicle for this crap. But
yeah, I mean, I think it's like this with any technology, right? You need to at least be aware of what's happening. And unfortunately, the only way to be aware, I think the easiest is to read the terms and conditions, which none of us do. The only problem is if you don't agree, then you can't use the technology. So there's no alternative if it's something that you want to access.
I've been on the internet since day one.
Yeah, well,
never read a TNC in my life.
Dude, I don't think many people do, and they're
designed that way, I think.
Yeah, they're purposely made super long and cumbersome to read. Just
the same with trying to get a gun permit in New York City. It's Moby Dick.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go to New York City? You're gonna have to go through Moby Dick first.
But I think it's just something we're going to see more and more of. I think, especially when it comes to AI and sharing, business related materials as well too. This is where you need to be super cautious with things. But this reminds me of a home robot platform that kind of was making waves a few months ago called Neo. Did you hear of that platform?
Yeah.
So super interesting, right? I think they're like the first.
What's up with this Neo? Apple just dropped a new MacBook called Neo.
Continue. Yeah. Maybe the Matrix is the theme, right? So, but the thing that I found interesting with Neo is when you start digging into it, you have this impression that, I'm going to get this like humanoid robot to help me around the house. And it's a very easy entry into this platform where you have like a monthly fee instead of having to, dish out all this money up front. But when you actually start going through the terms and conditions, which I did in this case, it turns out that it's not really fully intelligent and a local system. It actually connects to workstations in third world countries, and they control the robot on your behalf. So they're essentially able to view in your house, walk around in your house, and talk about giving access. It's almost like, you've got a stranger essentially working in your house through a robot form. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting application.
Nerve-wracking.
Like if we talk about like the future of work, I don't know about this, man. Like personally, I feel bad for the people that are, going to be the ones doing these tasks essentially through these robot bodies. But yeah, I don't know. It's a wild world, man.
It's a wild world, and if we get into if we get a chance to get into the rapid fire segment of some of the things that were trending on X over the last 24 hours, Google just dropped a new CLI that gives access to, if you're just in the Google ecosystem whatsoever, it gives you kind of agent access to all of the applications within the Google ecosystem. But we'll see if we'll get to that. But it just dropped yesterday, and even Peter Steinberger was pretty excited about that bit of news. So if he's, I mean, I'm already excited, but if he's excited, I'm excited. Don't get weird, Frank. All right, next story. Let's get it up here. Frank, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so this continuing saga with Anthropic and the U.S. government, pretty interesting. I think
this is completely fresh to me. I'm seeing this for the first time right now, so this is my live reaction.
So it looks like Anthropic is probably feeling a little bit of pain from the decision to not share their top model with the Department of Defense in the U.S. And I've even heard on the news, like Lockheed Martin has started directing staff to move away from Anthropic.
Wow.
OpenAI has seemed to be sweeping in there and having deals for all these large government entities. So I'm sure, Dario is starting to feel the effects of this. Surprisingly enough, too, or maybe not surprising, they've been having some outages like crazy for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I don't know how much that's tied to this, but
I wouldn't be surprised if we found out later, who knows when, if ever, that it was somebody had their thumb on the scale on Anthropic's servers and stuff, and they experienced a couple of outages recently, and I don't know, coincidence, maybe not. Very strange.
It
To
is
say the
very
least.
strange. Yeah.
My reaction to this dude is simply, if you can't beat him, join him. This is it's concerning. I still somewhat trust Anthropic, even though these technocrats, man, they're doing a lot of things that are concerning. But anyway, look, Anthropic had no choice. I think they had to do this because I mean, X is already involved, pretty significantly involved in the U.S. military. Now you have OpenAI. Who else do you have? You have Palantir. I'm sure Mark, I'm sure Meta to a certain extent.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, all these companies, to a certain extent, are have relationships with the U.S. military, some more than others, of course. That's pretty much what I just said. But they had to. They couldn't be the odd man out because it would have significantly impacted the company and might even, I mean, who knows? I mean, Anthropic, if they don't make this move, who knows if they even exist in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, right? Like, you can't be perceived as a threat if
Right.
you're operating out of the U.S. as well, too. So, I think it's definitely the move that, unfortunately, they're going to have to make. But I don't know, like, what has forced them to pause and consider and reconsider if they want to do it or not. So that's the only thing that has me kind of wondering. We're not going to obviously have all of the details, but there must be something in this arrangement that is a little bit concerning for them, realizing that Dario left OpenAI because he was concerned with what they were developing on that platform. And he was the privacy and security guy for OpenAI for a long time, and then to form his own company with those concerns. I don't know, but I mean, you can't fight the U.S. government, right? Like,
Right.
You're going to be a U.S. company. You can't, you can't argue this point.
Well, here's a little tidbit here, because apologies, folks. Frank and I did not read this article, but here's a little tidbit from the article. In the memo, Amodi also said the Department of Defense was close to accepting Anthropic's terms. Quote, near the end of the negotiation, the department offered to accept our current terms if we deleted a specific phrase about analysis of bulk acquired data, which was the single line in the contract that exactly matched the scenario we were most worried about. We found that very suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you no longer find that very suspicious, and that's why you guys are at the meeting table again? But who knows? We'll find out.
We will find out.
We will find out indeed. All right. Well, that's that. On to the next story. Dude, I'm gonna no. All right, no. Do you want to talk about the Huawei?
Huawei?
Is it Huawei? I said Huawei.
Yeah.
It's Huawei.
Yeah, I'll I don't have a lot to say about this, as you know, my stance. But I thought it was an interesting.
That's what I thought too. That's why I'm like, Frank, why do you even want to talk about this?
It's important, I think. I think it's
I'll get it up real quick so the people watching are like, all right, what is it that Frank doesn't want to talk about?
Well, I don't think we should like filter out any of the big news that's coming out based off of our personal.
This is true. This is true.
But yeah, this is like fresh off the news here. So Huawei is launching a platform to help really businesses adopt AI, which at the heart of it is interesting, concerning on my part, only because of my stance. I think as I've shared on our previous episodes, I'm just not a big fan of the Chinese models. I'm scared of them, to be quite frank, not to make a pun there, but it's something that
I wanted the, but we got to add that.
There you go. But looking here in Canada, I know our government has had some disputes with Huawei in the past, and we used to carry their mobile devices here. We had essentially a very strong presence with Huawei. And I even know a few friends of mine that were sales reps for Huawei. And, the government determined that it was just too closely tied to the Chinese government, and that, they were not going to allow them to operate any longer in this country, even so far as going as arresting one of their top executives and placing them under house arrest here in our country for a number of months.
Yeah.
So this is just kind of another worry for me. I think, hopefully people don't forget about that time and consider that when they're looking at business use cases. I'm sure they are, but I would just be very cautious of sharing any business intelligence in a platform like this myself. And I would take the pass personally.
Yeah, I agree. They don't have Huawei doesn't exactly have the cleanest history.
Yeah.
As far as their business dealing goes, and I forgot what little spat we had with them a couple of years ago with some hardware that the U.S. was importing from wherever. But they found some malicious. I believe it was either malicious software or hardware that was being shipped along with these products from Huawei, and yeah, I think a lot of them were returned. They were blacklisted for a certain period of time, and I don't know if it was Trump that lifted that blacklisting. I could be wrong, but yes, no. As far as Huawei's goes, yeah, I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Really?
Yeah, the fact that it's being launched as an AI data platform is interesting.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought it was important to highlight. Good on them for developing, some technology. And I think the one thing that this highlights is there is a real pain point for a lot of businesses that are struggling with the adoption of AI. And, it mentions specifically that these tools will enable people to use multiple models, prevent hallucinations, and these types of things. But again, I think just read those terms and conditions. And even in this case, they might not even be enough. So.
No, right. Yeah. It's, because at the end of the day, I mean, who knows what these people are doing behind the scenes anyway, regardless of whatever contracts we sign or, anyway. I think we are, before we go into the rapid fire, not necessarily ending the show yet. Anything else that you wanted to cover, Frank? Because I do have a couple of rapid fire things that we could probably drag out for a little bit. Really interesting stuff. Should we just do that?
Yeah, let's go right into it.
Google's quantum chip has solved in 5 minutes a problem that would take 10 septillion years. Physicists say it proved we live in a multiverse.
Wild.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in.
That is a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a lot to take in, and but it's also a little bit confusing because I thought there was another study that proved there was the other study proved that we're not in a simulation. Proved we're not in a simulation. Whatever. I'm just putting it in quotes for whatever reason, but it is what it said. So I think that may or may not have been put to bed. But this is different. That's not the simulation bit. We're talking multiverse here. Yeah, that's a lot to take in. And I think we could even do a show an entire month just based on the implications of this. I am really fascinated for many reasons, not even just when it comes to hardware, but just cosmically speaking. Quantum mechanics fascinates the bejesus out of me because it's the closest thing to magic that we have, and it's real. So now we're kind of transitioning that whole universe of just whatever quantum mechanics is, but now we're just talking about quantum hardware, quantum computing, and what it's capable of now, and what it's going to be capable in 6 months, what it's going to be capable of in 6 years, in 60 years if we're still around. What it's doing right now. How many zeros are in septillion?
I have to Google that, funny enough, and see. Number of zeros in septillion. Let's see what it says.
Like what are, just think about what we're going to be able to point this hardware, this technology at, and we're like, here, figure this out because we can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. And I wish I understood how it worked more, because how is it able to look at these processes? It's just how does it make a calculation? I don't really
I'm
understand that.
not, I'm going to attempt to explain this like an idiot, and I'm not going to explain it. This is not going to be successful. But it just, and so in the most vague explanation that I can, is it just has something to do with the qubits and them being able to be in multiple states at the same time. So that just opens up a world of information and possibilities that it's able to kind of tackle and I guess utilize in its computation. That actually sounded a little bit better than I thought it was, but I don't think I explained it at all. But that actually sounded pretty good for improvising on the spot. But anyways, but yeah, I think that's my vague explanation of how I think it works, and that's magic, dude.
Yeah, it's wild. I just I wonder what is the interface you use on a quantum computer? Are you just typing into it, solve this problem, and then it goes off and does this calculation, or what does that interface look like? I wonder.
Or you're you're using a translator and it translates your language into binary, but that's essentially what it's doing anyway. But yeah, no, I have to assume it's conversational or about, but yeah, dude, that's an interesting point. I don't know or never even thought of sitting in front of a terminal that has access to a quantum computer.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Is it Windows? Is it like Linux? Is it Unix? What are you using to to access or to harness this beast?
Cerebral connection,
right? Super interesting stuff though, and this is just this tech, how powerful this is a real concern for people in the security encryption industry, because this thing, just look at this. It's solved in 5 minutes what it took another computer 10 septillion years. All right, well, how long, if it took a supercomputer previous to this iteration a million years to crack your Bitcoin wallet, all right, well, how does it take now? How long does it take now?
Yeah, it's wild. I think it's going to change the game, especially when we start talking about AGI and consciousness and these types of things. I've heard, and I know we've discussed briefly on past episodes, that a lot of people think consciousness comes from quantum processes happening within the brain. So maybe this is the unlock to AGI as well too.
Yeah. Yep. But we'll keep an eye on that, of course, and because it's super interesting stuff. So I know I want to cover it as much as we possibly can. But anyways, all right, on to the next story, and let's get this one up here. I teased it earlier. So Google just dropped their own CLI, and it just, so now you have access, your agents have access to your entire Google ecosystem, which includes Gmail, your calendar, your Drive, Sheets, your Docs. This person, so here we go. This person's saying, I'm sorry for, let me just go back to the screen. At Tuki from KL. So essentially, could read your emails, schedule your meetings, organize your files, edit your spreadsheets, draft your docs. Every workflow automation, software as a service, charging you $49 a month, just became a free NPM install. Zapier is shaking. Yeah, this is there. The other meta right now is that SaaS is dead, and it's I'd be worried if I was working at one of these companies right now that is ripe for an update, pretty much putting you out of business.
I mean, we've talked about this too. I think all SaaS is potentially at risk right now, right? Because everybody is able to now vibe code their own platform quite easily. And really it's coming down to what data do you have access to? With this whole thing, I don't know how I feel about it. I think they already had all these capabilities, in order to organize files and schedule meetings and read your emails, it has to be already kind of looking at a lot of things. So in order to develop it, they would have had to give a lot of access. I already think Gmail, especially on the free tiers, is already reading your information. But giving full control to Google to also have it manage everything, I don't know, man. This is another reason why I'm a big fan of OpenClaw and open source. I think platforms and all these big companies are going to start really getting aggressive around trying to create stickiness for their users. And the one thing I've already seen with some of my friends who have committed, multiple years to chatting with different AI on different platforms, they're afraid to leave because this has my whole history of everything that we've had conversations around. So I don't want to leave. And then now you're stuck, right? So I'm probably going to say pass on this myself, and build yourself. Be more flexible in the future rather than being locked into one particular platform.
Yeah, agreed, and that is definitely a rule of thumb that people should apply to their digital, their tech stack, so to speak. You have to have a backup. It's just a little difficult, especially if you're in a particular ecosystem for so long. Like I've been, like I was a Microsoft and Google person, and then transitioned into Mac and iPhone and all that hardware. So as far as hardware goes, I'm neck deep in the Apple ecosystem. So that's why I've been a little disappointed that they're lagging so badly with AI, but hopefully that'll change soon. And if you just look back, I mean, Apple's again never really first to the party, but when they do show up, they show up fashionably late. So I think we do kind of have to give it that, at least in my opinion. Again, I'm a fanboy, so I'm biased, but I know people always, whatever Apple does, there's people out there critiquing it, and most times for good reason. But yeah.
I love Apple too, but I think in the case of VR, they were too fashionably late.
Yeah.
Because I think that whole project has pretty much fizzled out. I don't hear much about Vision Pro anymore.
A little bit. I've heard there was like some application. It was like a drawing application that you got to draw in real space while wearing the Vision Pro, and then whatever you drew, it had automatically had actual physics applied to it. So if it was like a big box or something like that, it would just drop in your environment. You can kick it around and stuff. So that was a pretty cool new little feature that I saw for if you own an Apple Vision Pro, and I do not yet, but I'd like to someday. Anywho, all right. So I think we have one more story, and this is this is a new little toy that came out from Kling. That Hollywood has to be going nuts with what's happening with these video generation tools. So Kling 3.0 Omni can now edit videos in the node-based canvas. I don't have too much experience with Kling. One click to swap actor, add visual effects seamlessly. AI is taking over. Look at this. Look how easy that is.
So crazy. I'm excited about this stuff, really. If you look at content that you like to consume and then being able to create your own versions of that content to consume.
Oh, dude. Here, yeah. Because it's within arm's reach. I'm going to grab it. So remember, folks, Frank might do a show and tell segment, but, so I have my, huge fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme. So this is a kickboxer. I have my Bloodsport figures behind me. Somebody redid Bloodsport anime style. So Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bolo Young, they were redone in manga. They redid segments of the movie. I'm sure maybe they did the whole thing, but I just online. I was scrolling through the TikTok or whatever, and somebody had gone ahead and animated the Bloodsport movie. My head exploded.
I mean, it's wild, right? Like if you think about copyrights and all these things, I don't know how they're going to do it. Although I will say one thing I noticed, which was really interesting. If you go to 11 Labs now and you go to their voice library, you can actually license voices of famous actors.
Yes.
And there's a whole approval process that you have to go through, and then they contact the estate of that property and work out the licensing agreement. But I mean, that's the future. I think that's where we're going to see, these brands are going to have to be a little bit more flexible when it comes to their creative assets. And
yeah, I have 11 Reader, and it was just the other day that I used it, and it was in the last couple of months that you can use Michael Caine as a voice. And if you know who Michael Caine is, he has a fantastic accent, a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
I forgot what it is that I had him read back to me, but it was like an article that I wanted to read, and I just had him read it back to me, and it was great. It was so good. And it's because it's just like find your favorite, celebrity or public figure or whoever it is. I want to do one of Alan Moore, and I don't think it's going to do that well with Alan Moore's voice, but it might. And I'm surprised I haven't done it yet, but I want to do Alan Moore. Go listen to Alan Moore on YouTube just for a couple of seconds if you haven't already. This guy is he's like real life Gandalf almost. It's just it's great. He can put me to sleep. It's just so soothing. But anyways, thanks for mentioning that. I forgot that that you can actually use Michael Caine as a voice, and it's great.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, I think that's a good place to maybe wrap here for the day.
I don't know to be a thing, but until I come up with a better sound, it's going to be the thing for now. But so that was the show. All right, Frank. Well, thanks so much for those tuning in. Appreciate you guys being with us here. Again, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, starting at 9 a.m. We're gonna just do this for half hour, 45 minutes or so, and just talk about whatever happened in the AI tech space in the last 24 hours. But we really want you guys to join the conversation if you'd like. No pressure, so just feel free to comment on whatever it is that we're saying, anything that you guys want us to cover there in real time, we'll try and get it in there. And we definitely want you guys to be as much a part of the conversation as possible. And Frank, you want to do a couple of the back of house stuff?
Yeah. So we're still working on getting the website and this daily newsletter live, which should have sorted here this week. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep you updated. Probably as of Monday, we'll have something to share, and lots of exciting things coming. I think we've got a full official kind of public launch for this show where we'll start bringing in guests and making it something quite unique. Planned for like around the 22nd of March. So just a couple of weeks out from now.
And thank you guys for joining us. I mean, I can tell, I don't know if you guys are bots, but it looks like there's 6 of you watching us right now. We got high as 7, so that's our new record right now. That's our new all-time high, 7 viewers. So thank you guys for being a part of that record. Yeah. And so I guess that's it for now. And just stay tuned for our for the outro here and listen to this banger. But yeah, please subscribe, like, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye for now.
Today's evidence is logged. The timeline has been updated, and the future remains under investigation. If you found this useful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next analysis. You can also drop your questions in the comments. We read them, we use them, we investigate them. And for deeper dives, join the newsletter at detectingintelligence.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time, friend.